How is everybody doing? I pray you are having an amazing morning and that you woke up refreshed and ready for the day. I recognize this is the time that everyone is getting ready for work and getting the kids off to school, and sometimes it can be just a little bit hectic. However, it is worth it to get out into our day and begin to share the good news that Jesus is alive and well, and he lives in you. I pray you are having a great morning, as I said, and we are now traveling together from Resurrection Sunday to Pentecost. We are looking at relationships that Jesus shared along the way. Those right now we're looking at specifically are those of his disciples, how he called them into gospel, and just a little bit about who they were and how their calling affected the known world at the time. We've talked so far about Peter and Nathaniel, and we got a chance to see some pretty interesting find out some pretty interesting information about them. So we know that yesterday Jesus was talking a little bit up at Nathaniel and telling him, hey, this is the Jew in whom there is no guile, meaning he has not been with he doesn't have the mindset of Jacob, who became Israel. He is not really for the people of Israel. And before it all ended, we found out that, hey, Nathaniel, you all right. You all right. And so I just thought it was really interesting yesterday. So go back and watch if you did not get a chance to see it. But I only have about 3 minutes to talk about John. John is this disciple that calls himself the beloved. And some people had issues with that. However, we do know that there was some type of special relationship between Jesus and John. We know that it says at the Last Supper he laid his head upon his chest, and that others even intimated that they had a close friendship. And so let's just talk about that a little bit. Who is John? All right, in Matthew 4, let me pull that up. Matthew 4, chapter 4, starting at verse 21, it says, going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, preparing the nets. Jesus called them, and immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. This is found in Matthew chapter 4, verse 21 and 22. And this seems to happen pretty close after Simon and Andrew were called. We know that John the Apostle, or John the Beloved, or however you want to refer to him, was a fisherman. And it appears from historians that his father Zebedee was fairly wealthy and that they owned their boat. Unlike a lot of the fishermen, it was a collaborative effort, to run a particular boat. But it appears that John's father was wealthy enough that they owned their boat. And so he came from a pretty well-to-do family and everything. But what is so intriguing too in researching, there's a lot of discrepancy around the fact, did John actually author the book of John, the Gospel of John? And that book is so different than the others. This one tends to speak more of the miracles of Jesus, more of the deity of Jesus, more of the glory of Jesus. And a lot of historians believe that it was people that were followers of John the Beloved that actually pieced this gospel together based on the teachings and the trainings that came from John. I'm not sure, but what I do know is that this man found a place in the heart of Jesus. And when Jesus called him, he was quick to respond. He was quick to follow him. He was quick to move and go from the wealth that he was accustomed to following a man who did not even have a set place to live. And so now the question that comes to my mind is, are we willing to lay down our comforts? Are we willing to get outside of our comfort zones? Are we willing to say, I give up land, I give up family, I give up all of that to become a follower of Christ, to the point that the very dust off of his feet flew up on him? That is what it meant to be a rabbi in that day, that you followed them so closely that the very dust of their feet would settle on your garment, on your clothing. Are we willing to leave the comforts of our Father's house to follow Jesus? We know one thing also, John was really quick in his gospel to go right into who Jesus was. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld him as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So this man, John, the beloved, left house, he left wealth, he left his father to follow Jesus. And in his gospels, he was quick to let us know about the deity and the incarnation of this Jesus Christ. We also know too that he and his brother were quick to say, hey, rain down some fire on these Samaritans who are trying to come against you. You came here to preach the gospel, and they are trying to cause harm. We know that. And they were called the sons of thunder because of that. But anyway, what I want to just challenge you with today, will you be like John? Will you leave everything that you know as comfort and get uncomfortable? Allow yourself to be disrupted so that you can follow Jesus. Have a beautiful day. Go on out there and make it great for someone around you. Leave the comforts and go after Jesus today. I love you guys. Have an amazing day.